This was not what the doctor ordered for the mighty Hav in Sacramento. Landing without his gear down, Hovland partially dislocated his shoulder. He would have to play with pain the rest of the afternoon. The pain grew worse, and finally on this point, which gave Frohoff and Akatabi a 10-4 lead, the mighty Hav headed to the tent for some quick treatment. Whatever happened during that time must be what miracles are made of. With Steffes bringing his game up another notch and Hav battling the elements, they scored 11 straight points and went on to win 15-13. But then the big question, would Tim be able to play in the finals? Of course, this is Tim Hovland we're talking about. With his shoulder wrapped in a sling, the mighty Hav played on. But facing Hovland and Steffes were the Kings of the Beach, who were still, yes, still in search of career win number 100 together. The Kings showed no mercy, and it became apparent early that nothing was going to stop the Kings from getting win number 100. Today, what will happen? Will the Kings be crowned? Will Hav be able to play? Is the surf up at Fresno Beach? Find out next. As Prime Network presents Men's Pro Beach Volleyball. Today, it's the Miller Lite Fresno Open. To one of the most famous beaches in the world. Yes, in the world, along with Malibu, Ipanema, Miami, and Muscle. Fresno Beach now has a toehold in the sand. Hello again, everybody, and welcome. I'm Chris Marley. You know, in the past, beach volleyball was just a dream here in the city of Fresno. Then about 1 year ago, that dream became a reality under the leadership and guidance of Fresno Councilman Bruce Bronson. This year, the dream, the reality, is now an institution. People from all over the San Joaquin Delta coming to watch men's pro beach volleyball at its best. Very happy to have working with me gold medalist, my partner Paul Sunderland. Paul, people write us all the time. They say, how can we get a beach volleyball tournament to our city? I think Fresno did it exactly right. How did they do it?
Well, as the movie said, and the cover of the program says here in Fresno, if you build it, they will come, and the they is pro beach volleyball. It just goes to show you when the local business community, the local politicians, cities get together, they can build an incredible facility, not only for the pro beach tour, but also for the city's recreation and parks department that goes on to be widely used by the kids and parents during and throughout the course of the year. And next year you might add to your list Omaha or Wichita or Kansas City among the top beaches in the country.
Let's update you on what's happening in the tournament so far. First, Tim Hovland. He is playing in the tournament. He's got a bad shoulder, but the diagnosis is different.
Well, depending on who you talk to, it's either separated, dislocated, inflamed, but it's certainly sore, and Hav is probably playing at about 65 or 70%. Got a lot of treatment during the week, but is really not on top of his game right now, and he'll certainly have to be that. In terms of the rest of the tournament, some teams we haven't heard a lot about have done extremely well. Tim Walmer and Al Jantz had an excellent tournament, finishing in 7th. In the other 7th position, Chavez and Rotman, Muttard and Lewis 5th for the second week in a row. They're a hot team. Mike Dodd and Ricky Ludes, a 5th, but for that team, not a great finish. They should be doing better. Adam Johnson and Pat Powers been dropping down a bit since their great finish in Santa Barbara. And then in a very disappointing 17th, Dan Verbalovich and John Hanley. They've got to be doing better. Verbalovich badly hurt.
Okay, the Miller Lite Grand Prix bonus pool, first place $100,000, second place $40,000, and St. John Smith, Randy Stokos, as they have done the whole summer, have led.
They have been great throughout, been in every final so far this year. Kent Steffes, Tim Hovland, Pat Powers, Adam Johnson in the next group through 5, and then in 7th position, Brent Frohoff and Mike Dodd. That's a look at your first 8 in the bonus pool rankings. Then you have Clark and Wirtz tied for 9th, Scott Akatubby, John Hanley, Tim Walmer, Mike Whitmarsh, who missed last week, down to 14th, Al Jantz, and Brian Lewis, who's been doing quite well this year, moving up to 16th.
All right, we know one thing. There is going to be a new winner. Tim Hovland, Mike Dodd won it last year. Who will win in Fresno this year? We will find out coming up next.
Please welcome the
Prime Network presents 1991 Miller Lite Pro Beach Volleyball. Brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's Miller Lite, less filling really tastes great. By Killer Loop Sunglasses by Bosch & Lomb. By LA Gear Catapult, the anti-fatigue rebound mechanism that you can actually feel from LA Gear. By Kawasaki. If it isn't Kawasaki, it isn't jet ski. And by Body Glove, everything your body wants to be. Last week, Frohoff and Akatubby led Hovland and Steffes 11-4. Then gave up 11 straight points. Today, they meet again in our semifinal. We'll be back. We welcome you back to the 9th stop on the AVP Tour, the Miller Lite Fresno Open. Fresno Beach is filling up. Yes, I said Fresno Beach in our semifinal. Brent Frohoff, Scott Akatubby, Tim Hovland, Kent Steffes, a rematch from last week. I'm Chris Marlowe. My partner is Paul Sunderland. The total prize money in this one is $65,000. First place, that is split. The 2 players on one team split $13,000. Our first referee is Jim Leonard. He is our first referee. And our second official is George Carey. George Carey, the umpire. Okay, ready to go. 1 game to 15. The winner goes on to play St. John Smith and Randy Stoklos, who won the winner's bracket easily over Hovland and Steffes 15-7. Brent Frohoff will put the ball in play. Should be an interesting matchup. I think Frohoff and Akatubby very disappointed last week when they played so poorly at the end of that match.
Well, they were excellent until Tim Hovland got hurt, and then they just went to sleep, obviously disappointed in their performance, but a chance the very next week to redeem themselves and get into the finals.
Frohoff and Akatubby have been playing together since 1985, maybe even a little earlier than that, but that was the first year on the professional tour. Good look at Tim Hovland. Plenty of wins, 50-70. He won 52 with Dodd. 1 with Karch and 4 with Kent Steffes. Scott Akatubby so far has had a very, very good tournament. He's been spiking hard. Akatubby, he trains at Hermosa Beach. Been a professional for 7 years, 3 wins. He won 1 last year with Brent Frohoff. Also won the indoor championships in Canada 1 year, as well as his first tournament ever with Brent Frohoff, and that was the 1986 Santa Cruz Open.
We know about the jump serving of Scott Akatubby. That's been very effective throughout the weekend here in Fresno, but he's been blocking better than I've seen him in the years past. He's really getting his game together, but the husband and wife still seems to haunt this young team every once in a while.
Right down the middle went Ken Steffes. We've had a couple letters. What is the husband and wife area? That is the area right between 2 players. It can be on the serve. It can also be on a passing receive. 1-0 Hovland and Steffes. Akatubby chops inside and off Hovland, out of bounds. Kent Steffes and Tim Hovland. There's Steffes. He's 22 years old, wearing black tank top and blue shorts. His partner, Tim Hovland, wearing same colors but with the hat and the glasses. Frohoff, 12 wins, many with Karch, 3 with Akatubby. And Hovland is blocked. Nice play by Scott Akatubby.
That's the blocking and the big movement from Scott Akatubby that you haven't really seen in the past. Akatubby 6'4", 6'5", should be a good blocker. This time moving his hands way into the cross court and getting Hovland early.
Akatubby and Frohoff did not play much indoor volleyball, so you'll see a little difference in their games. Steffes and Hovland, both accomplished indoor players.
That usually shows up in the area of blocking. Blocking is so important indoors, obviously.
Now, if you look at Hovland closely, he's got the patch on his shoulder. We think it's a separated shoulder, a partial separation. Laz Karai, who's Karch's father, said he believes it's a 2nd or 3rd degree separation, which is serious. and painful, but Hav plays on. But he's not at 100%, Paul. You gave him a very low estimation. You really think he's only 65%?
Well, it depends how you break the game down. Hitting, he's probably about 70%. Blocking, he's 0.
Yeah, he
because
said he couldn't block.
He can't block at all. And defensively, he's probably about 50% because he's no good going to his left because he can only play the ball extended with his right hand. So you add those up, average them out, you come to about 60%.
Akatabi serving.
I wouldn't serve Hav.
Little tip shot. Here comes Frohoff. Chance for a point. As Steffes plays it up, trying to save point. Steffes. Got it. Kent Steffes.
I would serve Kent Steffes. Steffes has been jump serving and blocking throughout the whole tournament because of Hovland's injury. I would work on Kent Steffes. Right here, he's ripping hard cross court, but I'd get the ball to him. Hav not having to concentrate that much on the other parts of the game because of his injury. Very fresh as far as hitting is concerned.
Steffes looking very, very powerful. He has improved his conditioning after lifting weights the entire winter. Big, strong this year. You can really notice a difference physically if you followed our professional.
Look at his arms.
Yes.
His shoulders and biceps just much bigger. His chest much bigger than last year. And that's important. You think upper body strength is not important in volleyball when you talk about blocking, reaching over the net.
And defense.
And defense, that's where it comes from.
Pretty nice shot by the Ak. And the serve receive of Steffes on the right, Hovland on the left. Great crowd here at Lost Lake Park. And I believe they call it Lost Lake Park because it's so far from the airport that we barely could find it today. It's out where you lost your leg.
About 20,000 of your nearest, dearest friends have found it today, and about the same number yesterday.
Hovland, and Hovland pops it right over the top of Akatabi. So Tim Hovland, former USC grad, he got a degree in communications. And if there's anybody who knows how to communicate in a very unusual way, it's Tim Hovland. Hav this year with a couple of wins. He has 4 seconds, including he's got another one in Brazil. And this should be a point. Hovland coming in on the right side, looking for 3. No! Poked up. That's good. And it stays in play. Akatabi. Steffes clones him. So Kent Steffes reaching over. We've seen Steffes use the one-armed or Kong block much more this summer.
Well, again, because he's so much stronger, he's just not sticking out the one big hand. And Akatabi and Frohoff did nothing to take advantage of the ball handling mistakes by Steffes and Hovland. So slow in getting into their conversion.
3-1 Steffes Hovland. Akatabi. Another block. So 22-year-old Kent Steffes. Been doing a lot of work, but he looks fresh as a daisy early. Early action here in Fresno. 4-1 Hav Steffes. Back in a minute. We are back on the men's professional beach volleyball tour, Lost Lake Park, the Miller Lite Fresno Open. Seedings 1 through 8. These are the 8 best teams. At least this is what everybody thinks are the 8 best teams. Smith and Stoklos, Hovland, Steffes 1-2. Fro and Ak, Dodd, and Ludes. Johnson and Powers are now in 5th. Hanley, Verbalovich, Walmer, Jantz, Miriam, Friedrichsen. How important are the seedings, Paul?
Well, they're very important. In teams with less than a full bracket, you might get a bye, a little easier route into the finals. And in the middle of the brackets, it really changes your matchups in the early rounds. For example, Muttard and Lewis have beaten Hovland and Powers last week in the quarterfinals, this week and the week before the quarters. So as they move throughout the seedings, they get easier, tougher matches.
Nice little tip over by Brent Frohoff. He was facing north and set it south. You're allowed to do this as long as your shoulders are perpendicular to the net, according to the AVP rule book.
Not too many players take a chance with this. It's a risky shot, and for it not to be called, the ball's really got to come out with no spin.
We'll only see Frohoff and maybe Stoklos do that.
Stoklos throws it in every once in a while.
And some of the competitors would say, yeah, he throws it in there. Smith and Stoklos won the winner's bracket. And Frohoff and Akatabi questioning Jim Leonard about something. Paul, do you know what it is?
Well, I think actually as Akatabi was throwing the ball to serve, a couple of people yelled out from the audience, and so they were trying to find out who the culprit was, and nobody was raising their hand.
Oh, that's...
Jimmy said it was one of those 400 people over there.
You and I get on the players as Hovland digs one up, chance for a point. Steffes taps it down. Frolov and Akatebe very frustrated at the moment. 5-1, Hovland and Steffes.
Hovland and Steffes look very good, and really the blocking of Kent Steffes the key. If he's not stuffing the ball, he's soft blocking, getting his hands on it, and Tim Hovland putting the ball in good position for transition.
And off Hovland, the easiest dig he will ever have in his entire career, right there. Right to him, about half speed, and he missed it. So Brent Frohoff will go back to put the ball in play. Frohoff, who started the year with Dodd, then he switched.
Went to Scott Akatebe, went to Mike Whitmarsh,
right.
And now back to Scott Akatebe. And I think he's going to stay with Akatebe, certainly until Karch Kirai comes back, and we'll find out which way that lottery falls.
Poor play by Steffes Hovland out of bounds. Frohoff and Akatebe get a point. Now, if you're wondering, if we look at the court, we think Frohoff and Akatebe are on the good side. The left side of the court, or the near side at this angle. Near side, Frohoff serving into the wind and working on Hovland. Last week, the jump serve not effective against Hovland. And that one is not either. Let's check service errors so far.
One apiece for Akatebe and Frohoff, and they really need to get back into the game early. Hovland and Steffes developing, I think, a little more of a killer instinct as the season wears on. And as you mentioned, Akatebe and Frohoff on the good side, jump serving. They got to put the pressure on and get back in this thing.
Hovland. Right to Akatebe. Here he comes against Steffes. And Hov has a chance for a point. To go to 6. Not yet. And the ball is tipped out of bounds. Point, Steffes Hovland. 6-2.
Nice pokey by Tim Hovland. He's getting very, very good at his shots out of transition. He's playing much more defense behind Kent Steffes, scrambles to his left, ends up scoring on the pokey all the way over on the right off Scott Akatebe.
And a good lesson to be learned by Hovland. If you don't get a good set and the blocker's on you, poke it into the block and get it back. Poke it high into the block,
Something that Tim Hovland does well and St. John Smith does better than anybody.
That's tight. Oh, Akatebe drills one. That's one of the problems with the Kong block. When you stick one big paw over there, sometimes you can get your pits sizzled on the inside.
Where does this one go? Because this is a ball that I think should be blocked, set real close to the net. Look, Steffes just reached back towards Scott Akatebe instead of out in front into the trajectory of the ball.
Ak with the serve, his team trailing by 4.
Anywhere, get the ball!
Hovland, you hear him. Anywhere, go get it. That's another tight set. But able to deal with it is Akatebe. It seems the set is tight.
And you don't see that often from Brent Frohoff. He's on the good side, has sweet, sweet hands, and should be putting the ball in better position. Things happening with Scott Akatebe's jump serving, and you see Tim Hovland just having to play that with his right hand. And here's the tight set, and Akatebe this time just with a knuckle over the top.
Ball whapped out of bounds by Akatebe, so Kent Steffes will have it and serve it up. He won $116,556.25 last year in official earnings. He was ranked number 6 on the AVP Pro Tour, which is a big jump from a couple of years ago. Hov with a dig on the gator, and the swing fake caught Akatebe in hand grenade position.
I'll tell you, he was looking for incoming, and it just dribbled over the top of his shoulder.
So the play coming over is a dud, but Akatebe didn't know it. 7-3 at the turn. On the USA national team, we called it booty. On the beach, they call it AVP Pro Wear. Trunks, tanks, tops, hats, visors, bags, gear, it's called, stuff. And if you want to get some of the best looking stuff on the beach worn by some of the touring AVP pros, you can by calling 1-800-PRO-WEAR. 1-800-PRO-WEAR, Monday through Friday. That's in the United States and in Canada. Get out your pencils quick. 1-213-377-4842. Tell them Marlo sent you. The ensuing play, 7-3. Steffes and Hovland on the change. The jump serve was good by Steffes just moments ago. And now it is 8-3. As Steffes continues to serve hard down the pipe. Frohoff and Akatemi might be tired, Paul.
Well, they've played a lot of volleyball. Tough early semifinal match against Kent Steffes and Tim Hovland that they lost. Very close, 15-13. And then they've been in the losers bracket for quite a while. And with their jump serving, they could indeed be tired.
Frohoff doesn't look like he has a lot of pop in his arm at the moment as Frohoff hits it off Steffes out of bounds. They are good rivals as we look at our freestyle elapsed time, 15 minutes. This game going fairly quickly. 8-3 is our score. How long would you say the average game goes on the Pro Tour?
Oh, I would say probably between 45 minutes and an hour and 15 minutes, somewhere in there.
Our producer says too long. Sometimes. Yeah, I would say probably between 40 and 50 minutes. I would say if they timed them out.
Yeah, I meant that as sort of the short and long of it.
Of course, when you get to the finals and the semifinal, perhaps a little longer because you have
the best
two
teams. They side out, they control the ball, they're longer rallies, and they know how to use their timeouts and milk the clock.
Akatemi trying to go over Steffes can't, and it's another point. So a spiking error. Akatemi was ranked 9th last year, and Tim Hovland, who was ranked 5th. So Hovland will put the ball in play. His team with a 6-point lead. Hovland and Steffes have looked very good. Hov with a dig. Cut. Hovland with a dig. Chance for a point. Good set. And Hov cuts into the net. Hov is not a master at the cut shot from the right.
Well, that play didn't end so well, but the play that I really noticed in that, watch the set of Kent Steffes. Look at how he's aggressively getting off the net and setting that ball with his hands. A year ago, he would have never attempted that.
When Hovland won his first tournament with Karchagarai, he played on the right side, so he's not a stranger there. As Hovland set is back off the net, and Steffes hits one into the net. So you never know when a rally can start. Hovland with a chance to make it 10-4, or make it 10-3 at least. Frohoff and Akatemi get a point. And now it is 9-4 here at Fresno Beach.
Akatemi started off well blocking a ball early, but been very quiet since then.
Hovland. And Hovland over the top.
So I think Akatemi and Frohoff are better with Ak blocking all the time and let Frohoff chase. Tim Hovland and Kent Steffes are able to go right over the top of Brent Frohoff, either with power or just the roll shot.
Let's check out Kent Steffes' jump serve. Too long, trying to go down the middle. And Steffes hits it out of bounds. So Frohoff has it. 12 wins he has. He had 6 last year, including Manhattan Beach, which was a big one. That serve is out of bounds. And Frohoff says, look, I'm sorry, Ak. They've been friends since childhood, Frohoff and Akatemi. 9-4. And inside the block goes Akatemi. Very strong cross-court spike.
That ball set about a foot farther off the net, giving Scott Akatemi good swinging room. Ripped it inside the block. The line shot over the top was also open. Akatemi getting most of the work by far. 15 serves received as opposed to only 4 for Brent Frohoff.
And now trying to work on Steffes. He has really improved that line shot. Boy, Paul, you pointed it out when he started a couple of years ago. He would lower his arm, but now he gets way up over the top.
Well, a couple of years, look at that. Just perfect technique, extension, elbow high, snapping it right over the top of the block. That's a clinic for kids out wanting to learn how to roll over the top of the block. And a year, 2 years ago, he was shot putting it, just sort of hoping the ball would stay in.
Another sizzler banged cross court by Scott Akatemi. Score remains 9-4. Akatemi and Frohoff have the ball. Frohoff now back in jump serve posture. Let's see where he goes. He's got a good one. Down the line, Hov has it. Hovland coming in, and there it goes. Just tweaked the line going by.
Excellent set as the wind picks up. The notes blow around. I don't know if you can see it out here. We take a look at this swing by Tim Hovland. but a big gust of wind has come up, and somebody just lost the styrofoam top to their cooler. It just flew over into the next county.
You know, about 1,000 pieces. Frohoff. He's blocked. Act chasing. Fro chasing. And Hovland will have it on his offside. He cut it in the net last time. This time he pounds it.
There, Kent Steffes blocking again, getting his hands on so many plays. Free ball opportunity for Tim Hovland, and really gets a chance to measure this one. First of all, concentrating on the pass. And then Kent Steffes again, the set in perfect position. Not the cut shot this time, the hammer cross court from